Hello everyone. How is everybody doing? Welcome back to the podcast. Long time no see. I already said that. I was gone for a week and I already forgot how to do this. So, yes, let me just start off by addressing the elephant in the room, and that is that I did not post an episode last week. Yeah, I know. I've lost it already. I was on a roll, and then by episode 4, I was just like, mm-mm. So, I mean, pretty much what had happened is that I did record an episode and then I just recorded it at a different time and a different day than I normally do. That after I was done with it and I let it sit in my mind and fester, I was just like, yeah, no, that episode was whack. It was awful. Like, it was just trash. So then I just never redid one. And then I kind of got busy filming a video, like redoing my room. And then I got busy doing hauls and stuff like that and just filming other videos. And then I got overwhelmed because I got mad at myself for not, posting a podcast episode. But then I was like, well, the videos that I'm doing right now are not very like great quality either. I don't know. I just beat myself up, and then I was just like, why did I even like take a whole week to just redo everything, or not even redo everything, just to like take a break and try to figure things out, and then like nothing good came out of it. But here I am. That is why I did not post an episode last week. All in all, I'm fine though. Like I just get into my head sometimes and I overthink. I'm the queen of overthinking. Yeah, that's me. So that's the main reason why I didn't upload anything last week. Also, with YouTube videos, I was slacking on that. I'm like 2 weeks behind. I should have posted, well, not, I'm a week behind. I was supposed to post something last week, and then I've just been like rushing to get my room video done. And then lo and behold, I forgot that I did a whole vlog and haul of this other thing, and I completely forgot. And that's what happened when I get into my mind and I just overthink, and here we are. But we're good. We're figuring it out. We're gonna push through. Let's see, so far my week was great. My weekend was also great, except for yesterday. I got sucked in to the Twilight series. I was like, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna watch it because if I start it, I have to finish it. And I finished the entire thing on Saturday. I did not do not one thing, which is very sad because I did have I had planned to do this episode yesterday. And then I never did it because I went and I watched Twilight like a dummy, and then you just start reminiscing on how your childhood, how your childhood used to be, and wanting to be a vampire and wanting to have guys fight over you. You know what I mean? So then I got really emotional and I'm just like, why am I not a vampire? Why are guys not fighting over me? Why am I like not immortal? And why am I not gonna live for like 156 years? Like, just like, why? So yeah, I did that all day Saturday. I didn't even eat. Like, that's the most craziest part to me, is that I got sucked into this stupid movie. I was only supposed to watch the first one, and then I was gonna watch another one every other day or every other week, and just like watch it and have a little like, it's like a little like treat for me. And I was only supposed to watch the first one. I made my breakfast. I came back upstairs, and I was just trying to chillax, relax before I got up. Had my coffee, and then one thing led to another, and I just had to know. Even though I saw it a long time ago, I just had to know how the movie ended, how the series ended. I was in my bed for the entire day. Yep, what else did I do? But yeah, all in all, I did finally finish my room decor. Or my room makeover, is that what the people call it now? It looks amazing. It looks really pretty. Only thing is that I wish this wall back here, for you audio listeners, I have a wall behind me, and I had the intention of getting floating shelves and like plants and stuff to put on it, but this project got a little too way ahead of me and I got a little too overwhelmed. But that's a future update that I'm going to be working on or trying to figure out. But this wall needs to be like fitted with something. And also, I put up finally a curtain here because on the video version of the podcast, it just looked very, I just didn't like seeing the blinds. So I got a little curtain. I don't necessarily love it, but it does tie the whole room together. Eventually, I might just change it up. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I know nobody cares about my room decor, especially the audio listeners who cannot see what is going on. But yeah, that's basically why I didn't upload a video. And so I didn't upload a podcast last week. And also just the topic that I was talking about last week, it was just, I don't know, the way I went about it, the way I talked about it, I was just like in a bad mood overall when I did that episode, that it just didn't translate in the way that I wanted it to. I mean, I can give a general synopsis of like what that episode was about. So basically, most of it was just me talking about like the most horrific, just traumatizing, but also just like what date that I had 2 weeks ago. And I was just, it was. So basically, for those of you who have been listening in the previous episode, I think I had mentioned that I was going to give up dating, but then I went and started dating again. I don't know why. I like to put myself in uncomfortable situations for some reason. So I downloaded the Hinge app and I met somebody and he seemed pretty cool or whatever. So I was like, you know what? If anything, I'm just going to get a good hangout out of it and it'll be fine. So we ended up going to Del Rey. That's a place or a city here in South Florida. And we went to this like little strip. I don't know what it's called, but it's like down in Del Rey, like close to the beach. And we ended up going to like this Mexican restaurant. First of all, if you don't know Mexican, don't make a Mexican restaurant. It wasn't authentic at all. I could taste it had no flavor. That's neither here nor there. But my date was alright. He was pretty nice. He was pretty sweet. But what the traumatizing part of that date is that when dinner was over and we were finishing our drinks and we were just, casually talking to each other, somehow, some way, in some mysterious way, a cockroach ended up on his face. Like one of those big Bahama Mama big freaking roaches was on his face. I don't know how I got there, but it was in the middle of him talking. I'm looking at him. I was like, Genesis, you only had one margarita. How are you seeing things? No, you're not seeing things. No, you're seeing things. You're seeing things. And then it's crawling up on his shoulder, and I see it go up its neck, and it's a big fat one, so it doesn't take that long to like crawl over somebody. So it's making up its way up his neck and like on his cheek, and I'm like, no, that's real. It's roach on his face. And then for a split second, my date like locks eyes on me, and I'm like, oh, it's about to go down. It's real. It's a real thing and it's happening. So he just went, honestly, first of all, I have a bone to pick because he went and took a napkin and like flung it in a way that was like in my direction. So like one, that's my negative points for you there. Like, come on. And then he like flung it off his face somehow somewhere. I didn't see where it was going or I didn't know where it went. Honestly, I felt like it followed me. I don't know. I looked on the floor. It wasn't even there. That like it fell on the floor with a napkin, but I didn't see it leave the napkin. So I don't know what happened there, but like I was like, listen, I don't know what you have to do, pay for the bill or whatever it is, but I'm gonna go stand outside. And whenever you're ready to go, we can go. But I can't, me physically right here, I can't be here. I had to go. I have the most ridiculous phobias with roaches and bugs, and I can't. Literally, I remember when I used to live alone and like I had my own little spot. I lived in the worst area ever. So whenever it would rain, the freaking rain would like bring the little water bugs and roaches out just to they would like dig themselves out of the mud and somehow some way come into my house. And I'm telling you, big massive roaches and bugs would come into my house sometimes, and I would literally have to call my ex and be like, hey, so I know you're home right now, but like can you come over and like kill this bug because I refuse to go inside. I can't. The way that I murder, like I can squash and squish little teeny weeny medium roaches and bugs. But when they're bigger than my thumb, it's a no for me. I'll try with the spray from afar. I'll throw Clorox at it. But if it does not die that way and it starts doing all this extra stuff with their legs, it's a no for me. It's a no for me. And I had to call my ex and I said, listen, well, he was my boyfriend at the time. And I was like, listen, I'm sorry. I don't know what you're doing right now, but I cannot go into my house until you come over and kill it because I can't. And you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, I also had a frog in my apartment one time. I don't know how the heck that happened, but it happened. And I had a small little baby frog in my shower when I got home. Something told me to go into my shower and just look at it. I don't know why. And then I saw it there. I'm like, huh, that's hilarious. I don't know how in the world you got in here, but you got in here. Cool. I don't like frogs. So what are we going to do here, pal? Long story short, it's so embarrassing, but long story short, me and the frog had a standoff. I tried to take a broom and guide it out of the bathroom. Wasn't having it, and that's cool. But I had to knock it down from the roof, or like at least where the wall met the roof, and like knock it down a little bit, and like say, hey, I got you down this far. I'm gonna leave the bathroom door open. and I'm just gonna need you to like step out. I'd rather not throw chemicals at you. I really would not. I would rather you just go, because I'm not a murderer. But if I have to be, I will. So it refused to, which was annoying. I think it also like I put a bucket down and it fell in the bucket, and I didn't want to pick up the bucket and then have it jump on me. So that was another thing. So I knocked the bucket over, told him, hey, you gotta go. He didn't want to go. So I somehow, some way I fell off a stool and hurt my back that night. Embarrassing. And I was just like, you know what? I'm gonna leave all the doors open, even the front door, which I'm afraid to do. I just left a tad bit ajar just so like it could find the moonlight and go out. And I just fell asleep with one eye open, then realized I fell asleep with both eyes closed. And I got up, and the mother trucker was in front of my bed, chilling. And then I looked closer and I saw that my cat had scratched it up and it was bleeding. So I'm like, oh, perfect. Now I gotta worry about my cat getting some sort of warts. But perfect, it's dead. Good. We can move on now. And I tried to like scoot it out. This mother trucker was still alive, and it just struggled on its way with his little paws, little jumperoos, and finally made it out. I don't know what it is about bugs and creatures that seem to find their way into my sanctuary, but it's gotta stop. It's really gotta stop. And honestly, that, bro, reeling it back, because I went on a tangent there, but reeling it back to my date, I was just, it's so uncomfortable. And the fact that I crawled on his face and like close to his mouth, and the fact that he was just talking and it could have just went in his mouth at any moment, I was more traumatized than him, and it was crawling on him, and I was more traumatized. Like, anyways, what made that date the worst for me, like, it just kept getting worse after that. Like, I feel like the roach was trying to tell me something, and it just kept getting progressively worse after that, because when we left, for some reason, now listen, it's the first time I'm meeting you, and like, first impressions go a long way. So depending on how you just like act around me is how I'm going to like get a feel for you, if you know what I mean. So so he did this thing where like we were walking out, like just down the strip where there's a whole bunch of people just walking around and whatever. Certain restaurants are like have little like tables outside. Like it was a busy little sidewalk. So at one point, I guess he was trying to like get me on this same pace so I didn't get lost in the crowd. He went and put his arm around me, and I'm just there like, excuse me. I didn't want to say anything because we were in a public place, and I'm very nice, and I would hate to be embarrassed in a public place, so I would just not rather do that to another person. But it made me so uncomfortable. He put his arm around me, and I'm like, okay, this is weird. And then I kind of like separated from him a bit, and I was like, okay, cool, weird, awkward, but I'm just gonna forget that it happened. And then we were crossing the street, and he felt the need to just reach for my hand and grab it, and he wanted to like cross the street holding my hand, and then we just kept holding hands, and I'm just like, why are we still holding hands? So yeah, that happened, and I just don't want to be like, ew, don't touch me in like public or whatever. You know what I mean? Like I was just uncomfortable, but I was just gonna let him have his moment. It was gonna be fine. So after, I'm telling you, I promise this story's gonna end soon. Probably unentertaining for you guys, but after dinner, after National Geographic with the freaking roach, we ended up we were supposed to go to this place, and I think it was just like a lounge sort of place with like drinks and a bar, but they always still played like music and stuff, and it wasn't as loud as the restaurant that we were at. So I thought that's where we were going, but when we came across those two places that we were trying to decide on, it was just like a very long line, and he's like, you know what, I know this other place we can go to and it'll be fun. I'm like, all right, cool. So we ended up walking there, and I kid you not, this place looks like a hidden gas station but without the gas, like a 7-Eleven, but like hidden away where you had to know where it was. And I thought it was pretty cool. A whole bunch of different type of people were there. The music was great, and I really enjoyed myself. And like at a club, it turned out to be like a little hideaway like club thing. It was really cool. And see, I can have fun by myself at a club. I don't need nobody. I can dance by myself. I can do fine. I'm all right all by myself. I don't need nobody to have a good time. But it just so happened to be there with a date. Okay, cool, I get it. But like when you take a girl to a club on your first date, you have intentions, okay? Whether you want to admit it to yourself or not, you have intentions. So like I was cool being there, but then it clicked on me when he started to just like push himself on me and like trying to like dance with me when I was just trying to dance by myself. And I was like, you seemed really sweet when we were texting, but like now that I'm trying to put two and two together, I feel massively uncomfortable. And it's just like, I like the whole time, I just kept getting uninterested and a slightly bit like disgusted with it. And like I would see other guys like pass by me, and I was like, I would much rather be here with you than with him. I would much rather be here with you than with him. So like if you start to think that on a date, that's your time to go. But we had already just gotten there, and I didn't want to be that person. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna push through it. And by like 12 o'clock, maybe one, I was like, hey, I gotta go. I gotta go. And then by the end of it, he walked me to my car. Girls, ladies, I know you can tell, or men, guys, you know, all you, I know you can tell when someone's trying to lean in and or trying to give you a hug just so that they could try and get a kiss from you. And I honestly felt that vibe for him, and I was like, nope, okay, bye, a little air hug. And I was like, okay, bye, I gotta go. And then I left, and then I never spoke to him after that. I was just like, this whole thing was just odd. And for you to think that any of this was okay, like, who do you think you are? So I just didn't feel the need to give him any explanations, I felt. So I didn't really text him. He texted me like morning, like, hey, I hope you made it home. And I just never responded. Then a couple of days after that, he's like, oh, okay, like, I understand. Or like, I guess the date wasn't as fun as it was for you for me, or some stupidity of like that. And I was like, yeah, I'm never gonna talk to you again. But he still follows me on Instagram, so or maybe not. I feel like my follower count went down. But yeah, that was my date from 2 weeks ago, and it just wasn't it. And I haven't been on that app since after that. I haven't been on it after that, and I don't know. I feel like it just needs to like naturally happen, whether I get back on the app or like naturally meet somebody just in the like just being out and about, you know. Right now, like that's the main reason, like in the first episode or second episode, I said that I was just like not gonna date because it's just too much stress. And then you start putting that in front of your personal life and personal goals and business and stuff, that it was, after it all ended and I was just like frustrated, I was like, why did I even put myself through this when this is not even what I should be focusing on? I should be focusing on my business. I should be focusing on my YouTube. I should be focusing on my podcast. I should be focusing on all other aspects and not this. When the right person wants my time, they'll make it a point and we'll figure it out. But I'm not looking anymore. I'm sick and tired of it. Not that, I mean, if the perfect guy rolls around, I'm not going to give him the time of day, but I am not looking anymore. They can come to me. I can't. I'm over it. I'm so over it. If that's what it's gonna look like, if that's what every date is gonna I can't. The roach is telling me to stay home, girl, and that's what I've been doing. So yeah, that's what the episode that was supposed to go up, that's what it was kind of about. And then other stuff, then my whole vibe wasn't in it, and I don't know why. And I feel like I just had a horrible week that week, and then trying to like put my YouTube videos together, I just overwhelmed myself, and that's my own fault. But yeah, pretty much I am loving the pre-fall vibes that are going on right now. I have this orange sweater on with like my gold necklaces and stuff. Fall is coming, and I cannot wait. It's the only I'm getting tongue-tied. The major reason that I love the fall season is honestly the colors and stuff, like the browns, the orange, the greens and stuff like that. Like that is like very much my aesthetic. It's very much like it goes with my skin tone. It goes with like, I don't know, it just makes it feel so. Even my room though, like my room is very much fall all year round anyways, with like the brown and the dark brown and the green plants. I wish I could show you. But yeah, just imagine a very boho brown beige chic I don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, what else did I want? I had something in mind that I wanted to talk about, and I completely forgot about it. Oh my god, I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah, one thing that I remember talking about on my last episode that was supposed to go out, but I'm gonna talk about it now, which I think is a little important, but I guess I can just talk about it on here, is that lately I've been having little mental things that I've been trying to work through, and just sort of overall life things that I've just been trying to like deal with. And I think I remember touching on the topic of just like having a sort of like a New Year's sort of new year, new me, but like new month, new me, or just like starting like how you have your New Year's resolutions at the top of the year. I was just like, you know what, right now I'm feeling like I need to revamp myself. I need to redo, I need to just do better. So I was like, you know what? Today's gonna be my New Year's. Today on August 22nd of 2021. What? I just almost forgot today's year. But I was like, you know what? Today is the day that I feel like today's my new year. You know what I mean? Like right now, everything I'm gonna do everything new, and what? In the sense of just like I'm just gonna restart that whole thing. Oh, and I remember I had this like topic that I wanted to talk about on the episode that I was supposed to upload, but I guess I could just talk about it on here now. And is that I've just been trying to be overall a lot more positive, a lot more manifesting, a lot more trying to set goals and stuff like that, and just trying to just stop getting into my head so much. Like I need to just change is one thing that's very hard for me to deal with, or I guess people in general. Like the art of change and the art of being able to adapt is literally the most valuable skill a person can ever learn, because if you cannot change with the growing world, you are going to stay behind. And it's not a very good spot to be in. Honestly, if you know, oh my god, I remember, and there's this book actually, now that I'm remembering, that my college teacher for my first semester, I forgot what it's called, like the cheese something, or like changing with cheese. I don't know. It was a movie about two mices and the art of change, and like if you don't move with the I guess the motion of how the world works, you are going to be left behind. You are never going to advance. You're never going to get to the place that you want to be, because you have to adapt. We as humans, as all the animals in the world, we are made to adapt. We are made to change. We are made to move forward. And that's something that I keep forgetting, because at a time, like honestly, there were times where like I was so much afraid of change, but then the moment that change happened and I look back a month later, I'm like, I'm so glad that that happened, because if that didn't happen, I wouldn't be here. Like my first job, I thought I was gonna be there forever, and I was already on my third year mark. And after just being so frustrated with my job and the people that were there, and I would have never thought that I would quit or whatever, it ended up happening. And although I struggled for maybe like 2 weeks trying to find another job, it was the best thing that ever happened to me and my mental health, because literally I was deteriorating like no other. It was just really bad, but it was the best thing that ever happened to me. Um, Even just like moving, even though like I don't even have the exact dollar, but I know that I could, make it up in the next week. But I had to move, and I moved, and I did it all by myself. And I was like, that's the best thing that ever happened to me as well. Like, you have to be willing to change your environment, because that's the only way that you're going to push yourself. Being in uncomfortable situations, that's the only way that you'll find out what you are capable of. If you're just stagnant and comfortable, you're always going to be comfortable doing what you normally do. You have to be uncomfortable for your mind and body to do the unthinkable, something that you would have never thought that you could do. So I have just been trying to push myself out of my boundaries, trying to just push myself to do other things that I would have never thought to do. Like even now, like I want to go, shoot, if I can go to a convention of something, if I can just sign up for something that's not, like it's just something. It's not like in school where like it's mandatory to do certain activities. I want to push myself and do something that I don't necessarily have to do. You know what I mean? So just being uncomfortable really is like important, and it also like help inspire you in a way, because you'll realize like how much you are actually able to do, and you're able to just go out there and say, hey, if I can do this, then I can do so much more. So that is just like something that I've been trying to remind myself and talk to myself and just like put it through my head sometimes, because there are moments where you just get complacent, and then after a while you're just like, why am I feeling this way? Why am I feeling so stuck and just stagnant or whatever it may be. And then it's just like, hey, you've literally been doing the same thing every day for the past couple of weeks. Maybe it's like you just need to change up your routine. Maybe you just need change, because honestly, when the day that you get comfortable is the day that you start feeling very stuck. Sad to say it, but maybe that's what was happening with me, because I had a whole routine for about 3 weeks, and then something happened and I just got lazy. And then I feel like, you know what, I think what it was, I think I took a day off, or like a Friday. Normally after a podcast is up on Wednesday, I have between Thursday and Friday to like pre-record and like do everything early, so I'm like ahead. And I think one day I said, you know what, I have time, I can just do it Saturday and take a rest on Friday. And I think that's what messed me up. Maybe, I don't know, in a sense, like I just, you know what, I'm just comfortable, it's gonna be fine, and then I was just gonna take a break. And I think that's what messed me up. And then I put myself in a rut, and I was just, look, I spent a whole day watching freaking Twilight the entire day. Like, what is that? Like, I did nothing of value. I didn't clean it. Nothing of value happened that day. And that is so just like, it's so shameful. But honestly, we have those days. I can't beat myself up about it. But those are the consequences of just making yourself comfortable. Those are the consequences. And honestly, another thing that it seems so just like when people talk about it, when people say it, I'm just like, that is just such a millennial, or what is it? Is it millennial or is it Gen Z? That's just a generational thing for people to say. To just be like, oh, I'm manifesting this and I'm manifesting that. Like, you sound stupid. But now I completely understand manifesting, just the art of manifestation. Like, the more you speak it into existence, the more your brain is thinking about it, the more your mind, your body is working towards that goal. Sometimes, like, I forget, like, even like a grocery list. I'm gonna buy eggs, I'm gonna buy eggs, I'm gonna buy eggs. Just like thinking of it and constantly knowing that you have to do that eventually, it'll ingrain it into your brain into a way where, like, you'll just start doing it automatically. Like, you'll just start driving to Walmart automatically, getting what you need, and then going home. The art of manifestation. I didn't believe in it, but now I understand it, and now I get it. Like, with this podcast, I'm like, I'm gonna have a podcast. I'm gonna have a podcast. I'm gonna have a podcast. I just kept doing that to myself, and I just kept writing topics, and I kept just putting it into the world. 2 months later, after years of thinking about it, I finally did it. Not very organized. I missed a week, but I still did it. And I still have my YouTube video that I have so many dreams and aspirations for it. And I just need to keep manifesting, and eventually it'll happen. Because honestly, true and all, the definition of manifesting, at least for me, is just like consistently putting out your goals and what you want to do out there in the universe, to remind yourself, for you to know what you want to do, if that makes any sense. I don't know if any of this just made any sense, because I'm not really much of a talker. But yeah, that's pretty much what manifestation means to me. And also, one final thing that I added onto my list, which is pretty much self-care. I need to work on my self-care a little bit more. I tend to either go all or nothing with like work, with YouTube, with podcasts. I do all or nothing, and then, but I'm not really like that. I mean, what I mean to say is that I don't really stop and think about myself. I don't stop and think like, hey, did you eat enough today? Hey, did you do your skincare routine? Because sometimes when you don't do your skincare routine, after a while, your face starts to get a little oily and just textury and whatever, and then you don't like it, and then you spend a whole week being depressed because you don't like what your skin looks like. And that's because you didn't take time for yourself to do a little self-care. You know, you don't take time to like sleep in one day and just like take care of your rest, you know. Even just like doing my nails and painting my toes and just having a day where just self-care, mental care, body care, just doing all of that. I'm working on it, honestly, but it's a very important thing, because if your mind, body, and soul is good, then everything else will just fall into place. I just need to work on a little more self-care. That's something that I'm going to be adding onto my list. Hopefully, by the end of the year, you know, we've met some goals. But yeah, I've been inspired, although yesterday I was so depressed. Honestly, first of all, now that I'm bringing it back up again, let's talk about how Twilight is just giving girls, or gave girls at that age, the most ridiculous expectations that I have ever seen by far. Rewatching it, I'm just like, in my mind, I was like, you do know that putting this movie out when it did come out, you're giving girls expectations that guys are supposed to fight over you, or that like it. I don't know. Just the whole falling, like some guy's supposed to be so infatuated with you in a certain, like it was just the weirdest thing to me. Although I loved it, it gave me, I'm sure, and a lot of younger girls at that time, just a bad situation, a bad expectation of how we thought life is supposed to be, and it's not like that at all. Men are not like that at all. There are very rare occasions where you will find two men that are willing to fight over you. This is just, bro. And the acting in the Twilight, I get what they were going for at the time. But looking back at it now, Bella never closed her mouth. I always saw her two front teeth every single minute of each movie. Why is her mouth always open? I don't understand. It's always just like you can see her two front teeth and it's always open, and she just has that blank stare like, what are you doing? And then she like twitches her head like what? Like, whoever made choices on how these actors should act, no, 3 stars. Edward, on the other hand, he was perfect. He was great. Freaking, what's his name? Jacob Black, the Taylor Lautner, who plays Jacob, also perfect. I don't know why they made Bella do all that extra stuff, but it was too much for me. Just watching it back, I'm like, I found this entertaining, interesting, very, very interesting. But yeah, overall, I love the movie, but again, very bad expectations for people of my generation at that time when that movie came out. Big no. A big no. And I will not, honestly, think about it. All the old movies that you would see or watch that our parents used to watch and the generation before them, someone's going to come across this video, one of my kids or maybe their kids, and they're going to look back at it like, what in the actual F where our parents were watching when they were kids? Like, what is this? That's how I feel about black and white movies. That's how I feel about all these old corny movies. That is what this is going to turn into for the future generations, I can tell, and I am all here for making fun of it within the next couple decades, because I don't know. Man, but I'm not really much a but yeah, I'm not really much of a Netflix person. That's where the Twilight is on now, but I'm not really much of a Netflix person. I don't know how I ended up there, but I ended up there, and I don't know what it is about Netflix shows and Netflix movies. I think it overall just like shows and movies, the fact that it ends is the thing that I don't like. I really love Money Heist. I cannot wait for that to come back and I'll finish it and I'll watch it because it was just that good. But I really don't like to spend time on Netflix and stuff like that, because like when the series is really good and then it just ends and there's like no more, like that, I can't do it. I can't. Like that's why I watch like YouTube and stuff like that, like YouTube videos, like vlogs and stuff like that, because they're real people and it's real time stuff happening. And like the movies and TV shows, it's just like it's a different world. It's a different fake reality that you get stuck into that world when you're watching it, that after you're done, it's hard to just like transition into like regular life in real reality. So that's why I kind of gravitate more towards YouTube now and just like watching YouTube videos and stuff like that. Like, I mean, I'll go and watch a movie at a movie theater or whatever, but like leisurely watching something on Netflix lately, for me, I cannot do it. I don't know how to put myself out of that reality, as opposed to a vlog or a regular video from a regular person on YouTube where it just feels a lot more real. I can watch that. I can't watch the Hulu, the Netflix, the HBO Max. I mean, I did watch, what was it, Suicide Squad? I did watch that and that was really good. But like these series and this Twilight stuff and all these like, what else is on there on Netflix? See, I don't even watch Netflix to like give you an example. Like I think Stranger Things is on there. I can't watch that. I can't do it. I did watch The Office though when The Office was on Netflix for a good portion of the time, only because I wasn't aware of how quick, or not how quick, how long it was going to take for it to end and how long the episodes were, that I was already hooked with the first couple of episodes. And once I started to realize that I'm going to be ending the series soon, I just stopped watching like 2 or 3 seasons before it ends. But somehow, some way, I just kept pressing play and play and play and play and like just kept getting caught up. I just so happened to be on the last season, last episode, and then it ended, and I'm just like, wait, what? Huh? So yeah, The Office is an amazing show. Love it so much. And what else is there on Netflix that I think I enjoyed? Just Money Heist. The Office when it was on The Office. Now it's not on The Office any. I mean, The Office when it was on The Office. The Office when it was on Netflix. And is there anything else on Netflix? Oh, I feel so stupid liking the show, but I like Selling Sunset. Is it Selling Sunset? Is it Selling Sunset? It's selling something, but it's like a reality show within like they're selling houses. It's like a real estate company that is selling houses, but is like also doing some like a reality show sort of thing behind it. I don't know why or how I found it, but I found it and I fell in love with the people on there. I follow certain of those people on keep wanting to say Netflix. I follow a couple of those people on that show on Instagram because the show is just fun and entertaining, and although most of it is like reality and fake, I kind of like it. But it also brings the realness into it with the whole real estate thing. Like the real estate and selling the houses, those are real things. But like what goes on behind the scenes, like at the office and stuff like that, with the real estate agents and stuff like that, I find it hilarious and fun, and that's what's entertaining. So it's one of my guilty pleasures, watching a reality show on Netflix. But I think that's pretty much the gist of the things that I watch on Netflix. Those are the only two shows right now that I'm waiting to come back, because I know Selling Sunset or Selling Something, I think it's Selling Sunset, I don't know, but that is supposed to come back soon, I think next month. And then what was the other one? Money Heist. I'll keep wanting to say the Spanish version, but Money Heist is supposed to be coming out, I think, in 2 weeks on September 5th, maybe. It's the next season, but like part 1. So there's gonna be a part 2, which is really I can't wait. I can't wait. I don't know how I fell into that show, but I love it. At first I hated it, and I was like, if everybody's watching it, I'm not gonna watch it, because I just I don't freaking go with what everybody's doing. Like, that's just not me. I'm not gonna follow the trend. And then I did, and then I loved it. So those are the only two things. And then YouTube, for the most part, my current favorite YouTube people that I've been watching so far, only because they've just been like meshing with like what I want to do and aspirate, and just giving myself constant inspiration, would be Remy, Alicia Marie, Lord DIY, who else? Taylor King, Raven Elise. Other people, I'm trying to find more people. Once I find one set YouTuber, I'll like tend to like watch most of their stuff, then subscribe, and then watch every other new stuff when they come out every week. I feel like I need to find another one soon. I don't really know. But those are my favorite lifestyle YouTubers thus far. They give me so much inspiration, and I aspire to be them one day. Hopefully soon. I honestly hate, I'm bad at vlogging, so I would love to do it, but I'm bad at vlogging. My camera is not that great. That is something that I'm working towards right now, is getting a better camera, because this one, although it's great and it works, it's just I want the mic hookup so that I don't have to use this mic and this camera, two separate entities, to just record one video. But it's whatever. But yeah. And since I mentioned my favorite YouTubers and like Netflix show, I might as well tell you what my favorite podcast is lately. I've been really into My Favorite Murder. Those are like my favorite. Stephanie Sue. Well, Stephanie Sue, she has a great YouTube channel and a great podcast. True crime as well. I love true crime, but like I had to take a slight break because it was messing with my mental, with all these murders and young children dying and being murdered. I had to take a break, but those are my favorite. Who else on podcasts? Remy and Alicia Marie also have a podcast together called Pretty Basic. So does Lauren and her boyfriend, called Wild Zone 9. I love their podcast a lot. Who else? Raven Elise also has a podcast. All of my favorite YouTubers though, like, also have podcasts. So like they kind of like, when it's not a YouTube video, it's a podcast. And H3 with Ethan Klein, he has his podcast on YouTube. I love watching that. What else is there? I'm trying to think. Oh, because I love The Office so much, the two main characters off of The Office, what's her name? Pam? Not Pam. I mean, her real name. Oh my god, what's her real name? Jenna Fisher. Oh my god, that was like ridiculous. Jenna Fisher and Angela Kinsey have their YouTube, and they pretty much just like, they're rewatching all the episodes of The Office, and so they have like commentaries on every episodes and stuff like that, and like deep dives. I don't really like it. I don't know. I just like the whole behind the scenes and trying to like, they're basically like just teaching you like all that it took to like make that episode happen, which is really interesting to me. I don't know why. But yeah, I've been loving that. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it off of my favorite podcast. Is there anything else I could possibly talk about? I honestly did not have anything planned for today's podcast. Normally I try to like write out a couple topics that I want to like hit here and there, and just so I have like a general flow. But like today I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna turn it on. I'm gonna be me. I'm gonna just explain what happened and just go from there and just let it flow, and it should be fine. So this is where we're ending, because I just don't want to sit here in silence and mostly because I have to start editing a whole bunch of hoopla, to be honest. So yeah, this is it for the podcast, and if it's a little bit short, I do apologize, but I will be back for sure next week with something very interesting. Not very long, but long enough. And yeah, thank you so much for you guys for listening and for being understanding, and for all of you who have been listening on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and all the other streaming platforms. I see you. Thank you so much for just the support. And don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you like watching the video versions. Don't forget to subscribe to the streaming platforms as well. Yeah, I really do appreciate you. I hope you guys are having the wonderful rest of your day or rest of your night, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.